So we're joined by another excellent guest on the show today. We're all big fans of his work. You might have known him from, he's been in shows such as Supernatural, Dexter, Being Human, The Tomorrow People. It's Mark Pellegrino. Thanks for joining us, Mark.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me.
So, a good question we always start off when we do the interviews is sort of, what made you get into sort of like the acting business as it is?
Yeah, for me it was an accident. I was kind of just out of college. I dropped out after about a year. I got straight A's, but I just was kind of disillusioned with college and got a job and was working, but not really, finding my niche, so to speak. And I stumbled on this commercial workshop that this place called John Robert Powers was giving away for free. And I said, let me try that. I didn't have any particular interest in acting at the time, but I was looking for something to give me more of a sense of purpose. And I went in there, and the guy that was the coach for that class thought I had talent and set me up with an agent, kind of right off the bat. And I started going out on auditions, had no idea what I was doing, but did fairly well, but not good enough to land really any jobs. And my agent basically sat me down and gave me a list of acting coaches in the area, and I happened to pick the one that was near me and cheapest. And it turned out to be a very, very good choice just by chance. This place called Playhouse West is a little acting mecca on the West Coast, and they were very, very serious. The teacher there, Robert Carnegie, was a disciple of Sanford Meisner, the great acting teacher Sanford Meisner, and he introduced me to the craft of acting, and I was an addict from that time on.
Oh, great. I mean, you sort of in your early sort of roles, I mean, you picked up some well-known stuff. I mean, did you sort of sort of jump in the deep end and look for sort of big roles and things like that, or did you sort of take them as they came?
Yeah, I just took whatever work was coming my way, so I started out as punk number 1 and thug number 6, or, something like that, and learn to adjust what I was learning in the classroom to the everyday working environment, which is very different, of course. And I had the fortune of working with some really good people early on, even though I did small parts and things, who were able to show me what it's all about, bringing authenticity and real work to the work process, working on TV and film, which it's a tough thing, man. It takes a lot of focus and concentration and command of craft, and I was fortunate to connect up with some people early that were able to show me how it's done, and it's taken a long time, I think, to integrate that knowledge, but I think I was fortunate.
I mean, what better way to sort of introduce yourself to the industry than working with Hulk Hogan?
Right? I mean, an underrated Marlon Brando, I have to say. He actually surprised me, man. I mean, good old no holds barred. He actually surprised me. We had to do a scene where he had to be emotional in the hospital room after I'd been so badly mistreated by Zeus, his rival for the heavyweight wrestling crown, and he got really emotional for hours and hours and hours on end, and that's not an easy thing to do for anybody, and he was able to pull it off. So I was kind of impressed by the guy.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Steve?
Well, thanks for coming on the show. Obviously, I am a massive Supernatural fanboy. I absolutely love it. And obviously, you played Nick, who was the vessel for Lucifer. And you kind of instantly became a fan favorite, like overnight. I mean, the scene where sort of like, so you find out you're the vessel for Lucifer. It was one of the creepiest scenes in the actual show's run. I mean, what was it like to work on Supernatural? Because it's just such a fun show on the screen and all the outtakes you see, everything looks just fun from the top to bottom.
Yeah, I haven't seen the outtakes yet. I'd love to see that stuff. They're great guys, man. Everybody everybody from the crew on up to Jared and Jensen and Nisha and now Mark Shepard, of course, we're all friends, you know, and it started there, but, you know, the the fans have created this kind of, I don't know, this massive family unit that, you know, we all get the opportunity to go out and visit the fans from all around the world, and it's great. You know, it's great to work with people that you feel are nice, and they also know their work, they know their craft, and they're fun to work with. You don't always get that opportunity, and I feel like with those guys, you know, I stumbled into something really nice.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love the show, and obviously, you had one run on the show, and then you came back where you were sort of like a construct in Sam Winchester's psyche.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it like being on set where only Jared could interact with you, and obviously the audience saw you there, but everyone else had to ignore you, and you just basically spent like half a season torturing Sam Winchester?
That was fun. I have to say that was really fun. It's kind of crazy doing those like blithe spirit things where only one person can hear you in the room, and you have to time out your dialogue and stuff so you're not stepping on each other, and that's a bit of a challenge, man. But you know, Jared's a good sport because I would mess with him sometimes, you know, and especially when I had that bullhorn, just to make sure I kept him on his toes.
Oh, it's fantastic. Love that show. Are you coming back to the show at all, or is that a secret? Or
well, not that I know of. You know, I mean, Jeremy Carver's helming the show right now, and of course he helped to with Anna Fricke. They both did Being Human, and so I'm hoping that our connectedness from Supernatural and Being Human could maybe inspire him to bring Nick back as a vessel for Lucifer again.
That'd be awesome. Love to see that.
That'd be fantastic. God, I'd love to be back on the show.
I think it's going to run forever at this rate. So you know,
right?
It's not exactly a closed door.
I think they have a tentative like, we've got 12 seasons. You know, we're going to keep you guys. So that's an enormously long run. I'm thinking it's going to be the Gunsmoke of the Supernatural world.
Yeah.
Well, I think, yeah, to me, it's like when I started watching Supernatural, it was probably, I mean, I'd put it up there as important to me to watch, like as Star Trek. I think it's fantastic. The dynamic between all of the cast, the way it works, everyone bounces off each other in the same, and obviously you can see that everyone has fun on set, like the same way that you saw Shatner and Nimoy and DeForest Kelley having fun on Star Trek. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, they really did a great job bringing people that just gel together. That doesn't always happen, man. And all of us are, you know, they brought, like, how do you get, like, when you're talking about Richard Spade and Matt Cohen and all the various characters that have been assembled to play, you know, the nemesis of the brothers. I mean, they assemble like 15 alpha males together, and somehow there's no conflict. It's all fun and smart and good times working together. And that's, I mean, try to do that sometime in the future where you assemble a bunch of alpha males together and you don't have any conflict.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey man, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, good man. I was just wondering because obviously you said then you've been on the Being Human, the American version. I mean, how was that? I mean, did you ever see the English version before you went on, or anything like that?
No, you know, I saw a little piece of it, but I recognized right off the bat that the style of the American show is going to be very different. And I actually thought that if I watched too much of it, it would be in my head as a standard, and you know, it would make me conflicted and torn and split. So I just decided to stick with the American version while I was doing it. It's in my queue to watch. I mean, I love BBC shows, and I tend to like favor those over the American redos of them, to be honest with you. You know, like when The Office was made in America, I rejected it for like 2 years. I refused to watch it because I was just like, nobody can do it better than Ricky Gervais, and so, you know, and I saw immediately that the BBC version of Being Human is really, really good. I really liked it quite a bit. Just in the 15 minutes that I saw. So, I stayed away from it and just kind of immersed myself in the American version as they saw the world to be.
Yeah, because it's definitely. I mean, it's not the same as the English version, but it's still pretty good. Out of all the remakes, it's one of the ones that are up there with like
Well,
Shameless, if you ever saw that one as well.
I like all the people in that show are all very close friends to this day, and Sam Witwer and I are gamers, so we get together every once in a while and sit in front of the TV and play games for a few hours, and that's another show kind of akin to Supernatural. I think they just put people who had good chemistry together, and we've remained friends even after it's over. I'm sad it's over, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was quite a good show. I mean, you've done a lot of TV work, working on Lost as well and all that sort of stuff. What show for you was the other than Supernatural? Which one did you enjoy the most?
Yeah, one of my favorite working experiences, I have to say, was The Closer, because I got to play a character that I've never been asked to play before. I got to be a cross between Tim Gunn and Carson Kressley, a flamboyantly gay but powerful defense attorney. My wardrobe was the best wardrobe I've ever had, ever. I got to wear $5,000 suits and antique brooches, and I had at one point I had custom Cartier jewelry, and I had a watch, I don't even remember the name of it, that was worth like $450,000. It was the best wardrobe ever, and I wore a different pair of glasses every week, so it was really fun to accessorize.
Did you take some home?
What's that?
Did you
I
take
wish I
any
did.
home?
No, I couldn't. No, I didn't. I would have gotten busted for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you've, as I said, you've been pretty much in every one of my favourite shows and that, but obviously you've done quite a fair few movies as well. I mean, do you find, do you enjoy doing movies more, or do you enjoy doing TV more? I mean, you see that you've worked with quite a number of sort of, high-end actors and that. And I mean, is there anyone that you thought, oh, these guys are really cool? I know you were in like Lethal Weapon 3, the number 23 and things like that. I mean, is there anyone that you were like, oh, they were really cool, or he's a lot different from what I thought?
Everybody, like there's only been one person I think that I've ever worked with that I thought was kind of sketchy, and that person I will not name. I haven't seen them in anything for a while, but they definitely bug me.
If you name everyone that you do like, maybe we can figure it out.
Okay. I mean, how can the Coen brothers are just amazing. Joel Schumacher was like one of my favorite directors ever. Not just because he's talented, but he's just he tells the best stories. You can sit there and just be captivated by that guy for an hour, and he'll sit there and talk to you like a friend, and just bring you into his world, and that's great, when those barriers break down when you're on the set. And I mean, Philip Seymour Hoffman was a genius to watch, and to learn from. And I picked his brain all the time. And Jeff Bridges was amazing to watch. And I feel like I've been really fortunate that way. Mel Gibson, when I worked with him on Lethal Weapon, I had one word in Lethal Weapon, and like maybe a scream or something like that. And a big fight scene, but. After our fight scene, he's like, hey, you want a cappuccino? I said, sure. I thought he was going to go to craft service, and we were going to go there together. He took me into his trailer and made me a cappuccino, and we talked Hamlet. Yeah, we talked Hamlet for an hour. It was great. And, so you can't beat experiences like that. Rod Steiger became a mentor of mine after I did a short film with him, and he took me to Prague, when they did Lifetime Achievement Awards for him. He took me to Orlando, and I just got to pick his brain about working with Marlon Brando and Sidney Poitier, and it was great. I feel like I've experienced for real like pieces of cinematic history that have really made my life pretty rich.
Fantastic.
Man, that sounds like such a surreal experience. So, like, were you a massive fan of films before you got into the industry?
I was a fan, but I mean, I was more like into nature and environmentalism, and I was into science and biology, and that was kind of my focus. And film was, something I did on the weekends to entertain myself. Horror films, especially. I loved horror films. I still do love horror films. Huge horror film fanatic.
So was it? Did you get to meet Bruce Campbell then on the set of Burn Notice? Did you like the Evil Dead films? If you're a horror fan, or
Love the Evil Dead films. I did get a chance to meet him, and I fangirled, of course. I mean, he's amazing and funny, and I've loved him in everything, man. He did a show. I don't know if did you ever see the show? I think Carlton Cuse might have wrote it that Bruce Campbell did called Briscoe County Jr.
Oh yes, yeah, definitely. It was a big deal in the UK when it aired in the early '90s on Sky.
Yeah, and did it go just one season, or did it go 2 seasons?
I think it was just one season, actually. Yeah.
I read the pilot. I read the pilot of that. It was one of the best shows I'd ever read, and I was sure that thing would go like forever.
Because doesn't it end? I swear that show ends on like a cliffhanger. Like the final episode is like a fake out death scene or something, and it never comes back for another round. Because I love Bruce Campbell and I love the Evil Dead, so. But
yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
he's great. What other horror movies do you like? Man, I love horror movies.
Oh God, endless horror. Anything that, especially if it's cheap and cheesy from the '80s.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can't go wrong with that stuff. But did you like Slither?
Oh well, Slither. Because that was that
Nathan
reminded me.
Fillion and Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of obviously Night of the Creeps, the one with Tom Atkins.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Obviously the little slugs getting into people and sort of possessing them. Yeah, that was a good film. I like that.
Are you a Halloween fan, Mark?
What's that?
Are you a Halloween fan?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I like the Rob Zombie redos of those. Do you guys like those?
I'm a huge fan. I mean, Halloween the original is one of my favourite films of all time. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't like the fact that he gave Michael Myers a backstory. I liked the fact that he was just, there was just no explanation for the reason why he was bonkers, But I did quite like his sequel to it though, which was it was a bit twisted, but I liked his Halloween too. The Rob Zombie.
Yeah, I mean, I like that Michael Myers is like. I mean, the story in the original version, he's a force of nature and he's just creepy and kind of a specter. You don't know what the heck is going on. But in the redo, the fact that he's such a massive, he's just physically imposing and frightening. I mean, that really kind of did it for me too.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Australian horror movie, the Babadook, yet?
I haven't. I'm dying to see that. I heard it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's quite good. You've got to watch it. Being in Australia, I'm all for it.
What was the one? I just saw one. I want to say that it's called The Loved Ones. Is that what it's called? The Loved Ones?
There is something
about a girl.
Yeah.
It's a girl who's twisted up and she wants a date for prom or something like that. She has a twisted relationship with her dad and they kidnap this guy. Have you seen that one? I think it's called The Loved Ones.
I think I've heard it. Definitely heard that. Rings a bell.
Yeah, I think that's an Australian one, but maybe I'm wrong. I just saw it a few weeks ago. I thought it was fantastic.
I think
have to check it out.
Because obviously,
or have you guys seen I Saw the Devil?
No, I haven't seen that one yet. It's actually just come onto Netflix over here as well. Is that?
Yeah, you got to see I Saw the Devil. It's the actors, the Korean guy from Old Boy, and it's a Korean film. It's one of the best, you could say slasher film, but it's a revenge movie. It's really, really good. It's got great horror elements in it. Really well acted.
That was great until the Americans remade that one. Sorry, that Old Boy. The Korean version was brilliant.
I quite like the US version. I mean, I'm a big fan of Josh Brolin. I think he did all right in it.
I'm a huge fan of Josh Brolin, and I didn't see it, because I don't know, I didn't think Spike Lee would do a better job on it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely worth checking out. I mean, Brolin's performance is awesome in it. But, it's all accounting to taste whether you like the film or not. I mean, you said you were more of a fan than the Halloween remake than me, so it's definitely worth giving it a go.
I think.
All right, I'll do it.
Easily convinced.
I mean, what do you think at the moment of the state of like Hollywood horror, because like every now and again they sort of like come out with something that revolutionizes that kind of the genre. Like they go very meta with like films like Scream, and then you get Cabin in the Woods come out, but then obviously they start remaking some stuff, and it seems very fresh for a moment. But I don't know. So like recently, some of the sequels, especially like Insidious, they just I don't and Annabelle, they seem quite formulaic. It seems like they've lost the touch again.
Yeah, I don't like it when, the first thing comes out and it's amazing, and then everybody starts kind of running that formula until it's run into the ground, and it's usually run into the ground in movie too. I mean, it's lost its novelty, but they do 6 or 7 of those things, and you just want to kill yourself. I mean, I thought Paranormal Activity was great. I loved that movie. Not a lot of people did. Blair Witch comes out, and everybody's got to do found footage, and it's nauseating after a while. And then, and the same with Paranormal. I mean, how many Paranormals have there been? 4?
I think
and then,
5 at the moment.
Yeah,
5, and the first one was the good one. The second one, I wanted to shoot myself. Nothing happened. And then, I didn't even see the third one, but and then there's all these derivative possession movies that come out, and I'm like, oh my god.
I mean,
give it a break.
That one that's just come out, the sequel, is it Annabelle?
Annabelle, yeah.
I didn't see it. First of all, I have to kind of believe the premise, and I would not have that doll in my house.
No.
What is the purpose of bringing that doll in your house? There's going to be trouble. Get it away. I don't know.
I think it's one of the worst. I mean, I love horror films. I watch all the cheesy horror films, but that is one of the worst I've ever seen. It was unbearable. I don't know how they, how it got past any kind of. I know how, isn't it? Obviously, it's going to make money. So
that's it. You make a horror movie, and you're going to make your money back for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Mark. There's one thing I do want to ask you. I mean, it's sort of putting my hand in sort of like the bottom of the basket. But you were in the Lost World Jurassic Park as an extra, wasn't you, or a small role?
Oh my god!
See, I only have to ask. I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan, so I have to ask.
Well, like one of the great relationships I've built up over the years was with Jeff Goldblum. Jeff actually used to teach at the Playhouse West, where I started and where I was a teacher for 18 years. I taught there. I haven't taught there the last couple of years, and so we would always do projects together. He cast me in his Academy Award nominated short Little Surprises, and that's where I met the great Julie Harris and Rod Steiger and became friends with them. And periodically we work together. He'll do a show on Broadway or with Kevin Spacey at the Old Vic and come back and say, hey, let's work on this play because we might redo it, take it on a tour. So I'd work with him at his house. We'd bring a couple actors over and we'd do Speed the Plow, or some other plays where he did the other one, the Teresa Rebeck one. Gosh, I just forgot the name of it. But we'd work on all that stuff together. And so, one day he said they needed some extras for this weird bar scene, kind of outdoor like bar scene in Africa or wherever, and wanted to know if we'd be interested in doing it. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to sit there and hang with you and Steven Spielberg and of course Janusz Kaminski, who I worked with a couple of times before he became Spielberg's guy, and so it was not for the work so much as it was to be around those guys and to sit at lunch with Steven Spielberg and talk movies. I mean, I can't think of anything, anything better.
Was that the scene with Pete Postlethwaite and Harvey Jason, where they had the bar fight?
Yeah, but I don't remember them there.
No?
I would have loved to talk to Pete, but I don't remember them.
I mean, it was a deleted scene, so I don't think many.
It was a deleted scene, and it should have been a deleted scene. But I don't remember. Was Pete there? I forget at this point.
Yeah. It's, I mean, it's on one of the DVDs. It's like a shaky deleted scene. It's just introducing their characters. They're having a conversation, and then you get like these loudmouth tourists.
And he comes and puts us in our place or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss him. He's great.
Yeah, but all right, Mark. Has anyone else got anything they want to ask Mark before we let him get on with his day?
I don't want to bore him with any more supernatural stuff. So,
I've got one question. You said you're a bit of a gamer. What games are you playing at the moment?
I just finished The Last of Us.
Oh yes.
Nice.
Well, no, I
God,
haven't finished it, but
Have you played the Evil Within? If you're into your horror sort of games and stuff,
Dude, I have just started Evil Within, and I actually had to stop.
Me too.
Even I get right there just from the beginning with the chainsaw guy. I'm like, this is so right. It's so wrong. It's right. But I was getting so overheated and worked up and freaked out. I had to stop. So I'm at another stage of it. I actually got past that guy. I figured out how to get past him, but now I'm like, I got attacked by like a whole horde of freaky whatever those things are, zombie type guys.
I'm only up to the chainsaw dude. I was playing it at 1 o'clock in the morning and it freaked me out, so I turned it off.
Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, just the moment you get into that weird alternative universe and you're hanging upside down in a room full of dead people hanging upside down, and you see him pull one of those guys off a chain and start dismembering him on a table, you're like, oh God, this is good.
Daylight.
I know. I started playing it at night too. I also play Left 4 Dead. I love Left 4 Dead.
It's good. Just chaining down zombies, don't you?
I just love that. Yeah, I love that. And in the second version of it, you get to use chainsaws and all that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, awesome.
Dead Space though is one of the scariest ones that I've ever played.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been told that. I need to get into that. The scariest one I've played is that Project Zero or Fatal Frames, where you've got to take pictures of ghosts. Have you played that?
Oh, I heard about that. That.
Man, that gets your heart pumping.
Yeah, I'm playing the new Alien Isolation game. That's pretty spooky.
Yeah, no, I've heard that too. Now you have to hide from the alien, right? You can't kill it.
Yeah, it's basically a survival game because I bought a gaming headset where you can just turn out all the lights, sit there and play it with just a headset on. It's the worst experience at 2 a.m. And
I want that. I want the worst experience at 2 a.m.
Oh no, it's a fantastic experience, but why do it? It's when you're playing it, you're like, why am I playing this?
Same reason you queue up for a roller coaster. You're like, oh, I don't want to get on, and then you love it every second you're on there.
Yeah,
right on. That's it. We're masochists, I guess. But it's a good thing.
Okay, Mark. Well, we don't want to take up any more of your time. You've been an absolutely fantastic guest. You've made our days. We're all big fans of your work, and and what better way than to find out that you're an awesome dude. So,
thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it. And obviously, you're in the new series, The Returned, which actually airs in the UK on Netflix the day after its US airing date. So I mean,
I'm excited about that because I hear that you guys get the episodes of Supernatural so late, and I'm very excited that you guys are going to be right in time with us here. So,
I mean,
what are we on, Sam? What are we on Supernatural? Because I've got the DVDs and that. Aren't they airing Supernatural? Have they just started season 9? Was it season 8?
We're one season behind in the UK. I mean,
so you guys are on 9 then, huh?
Yeah. I mean, people do find ways to catch up, the diehard fans, but
yes,
it just doesn't seem Supernatural. I mean, for the last 5 or 6 years, for some reason, the broadcasters over here haven't seemed to get it right. For some reason, they're showing it a year behind, basically. And I don't understand why. When things like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul and The Returned are all airing, and The Walking Dead are all airing almost less than 24 hours after the US air date, and that's the way to do it. That's the way you keep the audience hooked.
It's the modern way. We're now in the 21st century. It's got to be global and instant. You can't do this 20th century business model now of cutting up the rights. Unfortunately, everyone wants everything at the same time.
Sure, of course. That's weird too because the fan base is so big over there. You'd think they'd recognize that and want to get it out to people as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, which channel was it, Sam, that dropped Supernatural?
It was ITV2. And, but then again, ITV2 dropped Breaking Bad. So,
what?
Yeah, exactly.
Someone got fired.
Yeah, so
Is that why there was something on Twitter where they were saying bring Supernatural back to the UK?
Yeah, because they dropped it and they went and just started airing a load of silly reality shows and things like that. I don't know, but then Channel E4 picked it up, but they didn't pick it up at the right series. So maybe they'll run series because season 9 was never aired in the UK on ITV2, so maybe they'll run season 9 and then not have the break and sort of run season 10 back to back, so we get sort of more in line.
Yeah. Well, the
Australia's up to date. Just so you know, Australia's up to date. We kept going.
What do you do?
What? Not to brag, but
no,
Well, they got the marketing wrong for Supernatural in the UK anyway. But I honestly, because obviously I don't see what like how it's marketed in the US. But Supernatural over here was literally like it was put on late at night, but aimed at housewives.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe they're thinking. I don't know, because it's a huge proportion of the fan base is women. I mean, maybe they're thinking that way. I don't know. I don't know why they would do that.
But I think it come out around about the same time as like Desperate Housewives, and they did market it to the same audience.
Yeah, same demographic. Yeah.
I don't know. And then when I finally started watching it, like a year or so after, I was like, I didn't know this show was this awesome. Yeah.
Man, here's a show that I really love, the BBC show that I really love. Totally original take on zombie genre. I love In the Flesh.
In the Flesh. Oh, I haven't. Is that a recent one?
Yeah. I think it's only had like 2 seasons.
That's where the zombies are cured.
Yeah, they're cured, but they need injections.
Yeah.
Regular injections, and they're trying to reintegrate back into population. Yeah. It's really, really good, man.
It's a great spin on the whole concept, isn't it? Like the whole, you've just been fighting them, now you've got to be friends with them again, and they're your family again, and it's quite. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's really, really good. It's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, unfortunately they cancelled it recently though. BBC Three are having a big sort of shake-up. So.
Did they really?
They cancelled it?
Yeah, unfortunately there'll be no season 3.
Fuck.
Oh man, I'm so bummed.
Yeah.
That was something else. That was.
I wonder if they're going to try to remake that over here.
They should do. Yeah.
Probably. They could do. It's a perfect premise.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great spin. I mean, they're doing something called iZombie. I read the comics iZombie, and they're trying to make that into a TV show out here. I don't know if you ever read those comics.
I've seen bits and bobs of iZombie. I've heard sort of good and bad things about the show that they're releasing. But I'll keep an open mind and watch it. Sort of, I'll give it a chance.
What I like about the character is that she has to eat brains, human brains, in order to maintain her condition. But she ingests the memories of the people that she's killed, and so she has to try to get to the bottom of the mysteries that she it becomes like for the dead person that she's ingested, she now has to get closure for them, and it's kind of cool.
Oh, so they're going with the Return of the Living Dead kind of zombies eat brains sort of direction. Yeah, because obviously the George A. Romero zombies, they just ate flesh.
They just ate flesh.
Yeah, whereas it was obviously the was it Dan O'Bannon? Was that Return of the Living Dead? They were the first ones where the zombies actually started hovering around, going brains. We want your brains.
Saying brains, and they gave the mythology of the brains, and there was the first one that I remember, zombies running.
Yeah. And using walkie-talkies to lure the paramedics and more police officers.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Send more police officers.
Yeah, that's the one. I love it.
Well, shoot, I think I'm going to be out there, I think, for Asylum, I want to say. So hopefully, we can all get together.
Yeah, I mean, these, you get tons of these. They're called the rogue events, but they're always up north, which is always a long old trek for us. But, we'll try and get up there as well. Maybe hook up and have a beer or something.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Yeah, that's right. We do it in Birmingham.
Yeah. I think because they keep all sort of like the mainstream comic-y ones in London, and all the cool ones are up north, so we're like, we have to travel now.
Make it a road trip.
Yeah, maybe. But well, thank you so much, Mark. As we said, it's been an absolute honour.
Yeah, it's been